This little RC car from MJX, it's their Jetwood series. It's not a bad RC after all. It's got some quirks. This is a different review. I don't really do, I think, reviews, at least. I don't know, man. I don't think that's what it is, but I basically just do, hey, this is what it is, and it either works or it doesn't. So this thing has been ripping out in the backyard track, ripping out in the front lawn, uncut grass, cut grass. It's been on the street. I've had legitimately 6 LVCs on this thing. We've only had 2 issues, maybe 3, well, actually, yeah. Let's check it out. So this is the Jetwood RC. It's their artistic series. The artistic series, they give you like stickers and stuff for younger people, but they've done some upgrades on this thing, and it seems to be performing really well. Now, I did notice 2 issues. One issue already, and it's not really an issue, it's just because of the terrain I was driving on. So I did break a lower shock rod end. So I had the prior version to this, and I just took the shock rod end and took it off. So what I did notice is the version that's the MJX, that's prior to this one, it's that one with the bronze body. I think it had 2 bodies, but it's the one with the bronze body. These shocks that came with that RC are a longer stroke shock. These ones are shorter. The end is the same. This is the same. Obviously the hardware is different because it's not that these screws are a better quality, it's just the fact that they incorporated a hex bit or a hex, the ability to use a hex tool, which does seem to be better because whatever Phillips that they use here, I think it's with a Jap or JA, whatever the heck it is. It's the Phillips that we have over here, or that I have, just don't seem to like really get into there, and you can cause like little issues. I forget what it's called, but it's some kind of either Japanese style or Chinese style Phillips bit. But anyways, we do have 1 issue now that's existing, but that's it though. 6, 7 battery packs, whatever the heck it's been, I've kind of lost count. I believe it's a legitimate 6 to LVC, because I think that one that I'm saying is a possible 7 was the one where I broke the shock, and that was because I was running out in the backyard track and I hit a pretty good sized boulder. And it was this one that broke. How do I know? Well, because the hole right there is still unblocked, where this one isn't. So the other issue I came across just yesterday is that right there. So I don't know if you could see it, but the pin is pulling out. So it's causing there to be a little bit too much toe on the back here. So I'm just going to pull the wheel off, and if I can, I think I'm going to need to have that tool that they have. They give a longer reach tool. I just don't know where I put it. It might be even in the bag that that they gave with the RC. This wheel was loose, so that was another thing too, is making sure you check your wheel nuts. I do like the fact that they use a nylock and knurled lug nut, but I think with the flexibleness of the plastics, they do have a tendency to kind of wear out. So it's like, you know, you give, it's a give and take thing. So pull this off. The hex stayed in there. Seems like it's fine. Looking alright. But see how the pin pulled through? And there's nothing that really holds that pin in there other than, I think, pressure. There's like no nothing, which is kind of an oddity. So I'm going to go ahead and just see if I can pull this pin out manually with this thing here, just to see why the pin came out. And it's in there pretty good. So it is in there with a pretty good amount of pressure. I want to see if one end is knurled. Sometimes on these, so it is knurled. So it's not funny, it actually pulled through the knurled section. So that is what happened. So there's nothing that captures it other than that knurling. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it this way. This is the way it goes. Boy, how did that come out? If that's the case. And I think because this stuff is so tiny, that's probably the only way that it's gonna work, is by that knurling. What I need to do is I need to press on this. So let's give this some pressure. There we go. Started it. So need to push it all the way in. So we'll go ahead and push that all the way through. Like that. And that's it, dude. That's what holds that in. It's just a knurled piece of plastic. So at some point, that is going to come out. And you may have to use like a little bit of glue or maybe like an RTV type of sealant or something. Kind of squeeze maybe a little bit in there or something. I'm not sure. But something to stop it from coming out. So. But so far, that's been it. It's been a pretty good little RC for what it is. Really surprised. Happy. Happy that something inexpensive in a sense like this. I think these are like 180 bucks. And the power. Sometimes it's just almost like it's too much power. The damn thing is fast. So you have to learn a certain amount of that. Yeah, see, all these wheel nuts are loose. So that is definitely something that you're going to need to check. The ones on this side. Ones on this side are totally fine. At least I think the reason why the ones on the left side, you know, like if you're in the car, the ones on the left side, because of the way it's turning and the way the nuts are knurled, I think that left side is probably going to stay tight, where the entire right side of the vehicle was loose. And that's because of the way the threads go. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're on the gas, when you're on gas, it kind of almost wants to have a tendency to kind of, do you know what I mean? Like the axle twists forward. So because we've got plastic hexes and plastic flexibleness here, the axle kind of almost spins its way out. So maybe a little bit of thread lock on that right hand side would help minimize. I'm not going to put any on it right now. Body pins, I actually haven't needed any body pins. I am going to go ahead and put some body pins in it this time. I've got some spare body pins from another vehicle. But yeah, this Jetwood thing has actually been pretty fun, man. I was even thinking about putting the longer shocks in it. So basically these are technically kind of the same. These are an oil-filled shock. It's just from the other RC. I did think about putting these bad boys in, but there'd be too much strain, I think. This is a massive shock rod. It's from a different manufacturer, but oil-filled shocks. You can actually see there's a slight little bit of rebound in there. But yeah, a little bit of a tighter spring versus the looser spring that's in this RC. So that's it. I'll do a running video. I'll just kind of show you, I guess, how well it works. I've been wanting to put a camera on this thing, but because these things are so small, when you put one of these on there, when you put one of those GoPros on there, it really kind of weighs it down. And the GoPro Hero 10 Black is a piece of crap. Oh, and before I forget, so this is the GoPro Hero 10 Black. So can you tell a difference between this camera and the now seemingly archaic GoPro Hero 7 that I never have issue with? This camera, put out by GoPro, is an absolute piece of crap, dude. I would much rather use the GoPro Hero 7, but because this actually turned on and I'm downloading footage, I forgot to show you something. So in this vehicle, the other thing that I am coming across, and this might only happen with me because of the terrain, like I'm saying, dude, you don't even need body clips, but I'm going to put them in this time, because in the back it's starting to kind of loosen up. So the other issue that I kind of noticed was in there. So because of this center brace that they've got here, it's a bad kind of design. See? What happens is debris gets stuck inside there. So technically this RC has one little flaw, and what I'm hoping, or what I'm wondering, is should I take and cut that little piece out? Once I cut that piece out, I think they're using that like some type of a, I'll have to look, dude. I almost feel like they're using it like some type of like a brace. But I mean, this is a metal chassis, and as long as I'm not being an absolute lunatic, it should be totally fine. And I don't know if I brought it out before, but this little thing right here is actually a brake module. So what it does is it makes it so that when you put on the brake, this lights or illuminates brighter than the typical just stay on light. So this RC does have a lot of good things about it. Like I was saying, still though, the hardware is not a better quality by any means. It still strips out because this is super glued in. How do I know? Dude, it's stripped out. I wanted to see if I could take it apart, and yes, I ended up stripping it out. So I could probably take a Dremel and put a nice slice and put a flat blade on there and break free the super glue that they're using. But yeah, this little RC, dude, 6 legitimate LVC packs through it, and I'm gonna go rip another one out in the backyard track just to kind of show you how well this thing does. Oh, and the last time I drove this, a stone got stuck in there and totally stopped the blade. So that's a negative because there's no screen. Again, that's just the area that I'm driving on. So it'd probably be a good thing to maybe... Oh, dude, I could 3D print something, couldn't I? I think I'm gonna try 3D printing a little screen topper for this. You could glue on some mesh or just get regular screen, and it would probably help, but I do enjoy 3D printing stuff, so who knows, dude? Maybe I'll 3D print a little fan thing. Yeah, guy. It's not a bad RC. Check your fasteners, make sure things are tight. After every, for a few runs, just take a driver and kind of just go in there and just double check. But you'll see what I'm saying once I get out there and show you that it is just a minor, I want to say flaw, but it is a flaw, dude, because I mean, look at how it's a flat section. The debris just literally gets in there and prevents steering literally left and right. It will clear out, as long as you're going over some rough terrain, but several times when I was out in the back there, it totally prevented a turn when I needed to turn, and I ended up, fortunately, going through that split oak. I went to go try to turn, and it did too wide of a turn, and it actually went in between the trees. and it landed mint. Yeah, guy, it doesn't always have to be about buying the big box Arrma, Traxxas, Losi, Kyosho, Team Associated. It's not always about that. Sometimes these little lesser expensive RCs are pretty good. I also did have to re-glue my tires, so that was another thing. So what am I up to, 4 things now? So a shock broke, but you kind of, dude, I hit a boulder. The pin pulled out. Very easy fix, it just went back in, but you just realize that the knurling, I think, is installed from the back. The way I pulled it through is the total wrong way. I should have just forced it through the other way, so there's that. The steering, that's a legitimate for me in my terrain where I'm driving. I mean, if you drive it on pavement, most likely you're not gonna pick up debris that stops your steering. And what was the other thing? The pin, that, wheel nuts coming loose. I mean, come on, the Mojave, dude. The Mojave and, what was it, the EXB Kraton? The first roller EXB Kraton, what is it, 7th scale or whatever the heck it is? 6th or 7th, I think it's a 7th scale. That thing, the wheels were falling off because the lock nuts were, the wheel nuts were getting loose. So there's like these things that sometimes, you know, you forget that happened to the big box manufacturers like Arrma and their complete 3S line. What happens? Rocks and debris get in and stop the steering. Technically, that's what's happening with this. If I chop out that little section there, it most likely will resolve the issue, but how hard is it going to be to kind of get in there and take care? Whoa, dude. Holy loudness. Dude, that was loud. Anyways, I'm out here just having some fun. Still working on the backyard track, figuring out where I want my jumps to go. I'm going to have a combination of good sized jumps and some little ones just to kind of kick the RC up in the air kind of deal. So, but you'll see this little car, man. This little car performs absolutely stinking awesome in the backyard track. So, is this hobby grade? Damn it, dude. They're really making it tough. What is the classification of hobby grade, especially when it comes into the RC world? Do you know what it is? Alexa, what is hobby grade?
From privateschoolreview.com. Harvey personalizes an educational journey for students.
That's not what I... Alexa, stop. Alexa, what is the definition of hobby grade?
Hobby grade RC vehicles are of a high quality and are designed for recreational use. They are often made of high quality materials and have advanced features, such as radio control, high performance engines, and sophisticated electronics. These vehicles are suitable for use by experienced RC enthusiasts and are often more expensive than other types of RC vehicles.
Can you show me some examples of hobby grade RC vehicles?
Hobby grade RC vehicles are highly detailed and crafted from high quality materials, offering an immersive and high performance experience. Some examples of hobby grade RC vehicles include 1/12 scale off-road trucks, highly detailed racing cars, and even drones. These vehicles often require advanced skills and knowledge to operate, making them a passion and hobby for many enthusiasts.
You see that, right? 1/12 scale? That's
interesting. I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
That's... Yeah, but the picture's wrong. What the heck is... there's related vehicle... Wait a minute. Related vehicles? Nah. Wait a minute. What? Related videos? Dude, what? Kia recall? So that's the answer that you get from that thing. Dude, that's kind of messed up. What if I ask Google? Because maybe Google will come up with a better answer. So, where's my phone? Hey Google, what is considered hobby grade RC? Oh my God. Hey Google,
Hobby grade RC.
what is considered a hobby grade RC vehicle?
Hobby grade RC vehicles are radio controlled cars, trucks, airplanes, boats, and other machines that are designed for performance, durability, and customization. They are typically more expensive than toy grade RC vehicles, but they offer a number of advantages, including durability. Hobby grade RC vehicles are made with stronger materials and components, which makes them more resistant to crashes and wear and tear. They are typically larger.
Show me examples of a hobby grade RC vehicle.
Here are some examples of popular hobby grade RC vehicles. RC cars. Available in various styles like trucks, buggies, short course trucks, and touring cars. Powered by electric motors or nitro engines.
Hey Google,
RC trucks.
show me pictures of hobby grade RC vehicles.
RC trucks are a type of hobby grade RC vehicle that is popular for off-road driving. They're
All right, so what they're saying, number one, they list Traxxas. So Traxxas Rustler, they're listing is a great option. Arrma Big Rock, I'm assuming the 3S line. And then Red Cat Racing, Everest Genset, what? That's kind of, dude, that's weird. Look at that, Red Cat. That's kind of surprising. Well, there's your answer.